Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
We're going to talk about Better Call Saul, Season 6, Episode 8. Spoilers ahead.
Major spoilers ahead.
If you have not watched the episode, please stop the video. Come back after you watch it. Here you go. Wow. I mean, I think we talked about this in our prior Better Call Saul episode that we think Lalo was going to die really quickly. Because we have to deal with how Jimmy ultimately turns into Saul, right?
Yeah. And we also speculated that there will be an eventual showdown between Lalo and Fring. We thought maybe Mike would be the one to kill Lalo, but we also assumed that maybe it'll be Gus.
No, you were the. I think you brought up that you kept bringing it up that you think Gus was gonna kill Lalo because of that one scene.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't expect it. I thought it was too on the nose, but it happened, and the setup was pretty intense. I mean, I'm shocked. I was shocked at this episode of how fast everything went.
Yeah.
I honestly thought before part 2 of this season began, I felt like Lalo would have had a more elaborate scheme involving Saul and Kim, and that would lead to some tragedy for Kim maybe. But here it's just right off the bat, okay, here's a gun. There's a gun in the car. Go kill him. Go kill this guy named he never mentions the name, but he's mid-height. He's black. He has glasses. Go shoot him. Boom.
And we presume that this would probably have something to do with Jimmy and Kim, and somehow Lalo would interrogate Jimmy, but that was not the case.
No, I think there was a lot of twist and suspense because, it turns out Lalo is just an animal. He's just it's like a decoy right off the bat. And I love the scene where when Gus talks to Kim, and Gus asks, what happened? And then Kim says, well, they were supposed to send my husband, but he talked him out of it. And
talked him out of it.
And then Gus realized that
no way.
Lalo didn't care who went in the first place, and it was never the main goal. And he realized with his thunder instinct that helped him from Walter's car bomb, he goes to the place where he feels most vulnerable, but it turns out that's what Lalo was waiting for.
That's right. So there was a lot of mind chess going on here.
Yeah, these two jackals. Like when Gus made that speech about you Salamancas or jackals, I was like, hey man, you were one too. What are you talking about? Maybe a little bit more sophisticated, but it was this total a wolf match. And
I was thinking, if any one of these were a little less intelligent, this wouldn't go so well.
Yeah. And this episode shows why Gus is the boss, because I never seen Mike so panicked. I felt Mike's IQ did drop a digit here though, for the story's sake though.
So Lalo completely played Mike here, because number one, he failed to protect Jimmy and Kim because he pulled out all the surveillance because of that fake phone call. I mean, not fake, but that deceiving phone call. And second, he failed to keep Gus under protection. So, yeah, I think he failed twice here.
Yeah, and these two episodes is by far, time-wise, it happens within 24 hours or something. Episode 7 and episode 8. So it was really, really intense. And
I also like the intro of the episode, though. You know, that ocean wave flushing that shoe, and eventually it zooms out to show Howard's Jaguar.
Yeah, but we also talked about this, how they were going to stage it as a suicide, and sadly it happens. And you know what? This episode though is also a resolution of the Lalo plotline.
Yeah.
But we don't know what's going to happen in the next episode. We don't know at all.
I think we can safely assume that this will now have its full attention on Jimmy and Kim.
Mm-hmm.
And after having watched the episode, I have this feeling that they will never go back to what they used to be because
Mm-hmm.
of Howard's death.
Mm-hmm.
And we said on the title that a dark fate awaits Kim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking this is what's going to break Kim.
Mm-hmm.
And I suspect that she will walk away from all this. I don't think she's going to be able to handle the guilt.
That's one possibility, but also another possibility is that she might be in real danger here. Because because Jimmy was trying to save Kim, she was the one who stepped into Gus's house and saw all these people. She has this knowledge.
Oh, that's true.
So, I mean, if you're Gus...
She knows too much to just walk away.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a real... Your possibility is also right. But here's another possibility where maybe Gus will want Mike to handle it. Handle it.
Oh, and so Mike will try to handle it, but I think he's going to have some sympathy towards Kim, and he's going to give Kim that what's his name, the vacuum cleaner guy, to get herself a new identity.
It could be Jimmy himself, because Jimmy is the one who's friends with the guy who right now works as a vet. So there's a lot of possibilities here, and I think there's gonna be a scene where we see the full transformation to Jimmy to Saul, because I remember that line from Mike after their trip to the desert, like Saul and Mike, and they're both in the car. And Mike tells him, you're going to forget about this. One day, it's going to bother you for a while. And then one day, you're going to realize that you're not bothered by it at all. It just happened. And then I think that moment will come to Jimmy when he fully turns into Saul because of that. Like, he can just shut down, like, everything that was about Jimmy through that. But I think maybe following your theory, like, maybe Kim can't do it. Maybe Kim has that like light side just that keeps coming back. Yeah. Because in this episode, what I found interesting was that when there's a gun to your head, it's Jimmy that's calm. Like Jimmy's like he was so boss. Lalo, shut the fuck up. You two mouths. like the Salamancas don't like long conversations.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Oh my god. Okay, you go.
Now here's what you need to do.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, whatever. Go. But Jimmy was like, he was ice calm.
So I think we can also safely assume that Jimmy's fit for this. Kim isn't. She's completely shook when we see this episode.
Yeah, but that's funny. It brings us back all the way to episode 1. You know that? Because he was about to lose his life there too by another Salamanca.
That's right.
Tuco was about to possibly he was obviously going to kill those twins and then maybe like maim Jimmy for the fun of it. So like Jimmy is like, even in Breaking Bad, he had a gun into his head by Walter and Jesse. I mean, Jimmy is definitely a cockroaches.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Tyrion Lannister in some aspect.
Oh, that's interesting.
Tyrion also goes through a lot of life in this situation.
Right.
And he manages to get himself, talk his way out. Yeah. It shows Jimmy's strength, though. He was just iron calm. And I really like that. Because that's, in a way, that's Saul. That's Saul talking. Yeah. Every time we see Jimmy in danger in front of a criminal, he's basically at full Saul mode. Like, I think the only one he genuinely feared was Walter White. Maybe later, but anyway, but I also love Lalo smiling when he died, though. Oh yes,
I think there's a lot of
when he's coughing out blood and laughing at the same time.
Yeah,
that was a good touch.
I think that we can have two interpretations of that. One is that, he's a happy devil. He's like, oh fuck, that was good. Okay, that was good, huh? That was good, hombre. Or it's like a respect towards Gus. Because like he knows how formidable Gus is.
It's like, this guy, and then he dies.
Yeah. It's like such a Salamanca way to die. Like no apologies, just fuck.
No bitch way of dying for them.
Yeah. But I felt the scene was. I felt like he could have just shot Gus in the head.
Yeah, but that's ultimately what got him killed, because we can tell, like, the moment Gus walked into that trap, I think Lalo kind of
the hubris.
Yeah, he just knew that he had him now.
Yeah.
And that got him cocky, I think.
I think that's the Salamanca hubris too, because Hector is definitely arrogant. Like, he's so arrogant that he will insult his boss.
Yeah.
But here, another scene, because of this episode, another scene I am looking forward to is Gus telling Hector. Because they both know Lalo is alive.
That's right.
So I hope there's a scene where, like, Gus, like, rubs it in on Hector.
And then Hector presses the bell like crazy. Ding, 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 ding.
I don't know. I think Hector will be boiling inside. And I like Hector that. I like that Hector. Because that builds up to Breaking Bad. Kind of explains why he's like this. Oh, fuck, my favorite nephew is dead, and I'm stuck with this guy. To go, Tio! It's not like a burrito.
This idiot.
This junkie. My favorite nephew is gone.
Lalo was a million times smarter than you, dickhead.
My favorite. So that's no wonder he's like drooling. It's like, fuck this life. I got fucked by my enemy, and my dumbass nephews is about to destroy her legacy. So no, but like I hope there is, because I like that this is a prequel, and we know how the Gus and Hector conflict ends. So I would like Hector like really raging over it.
One thing I do hope to see in the remaining episodes or episode.
There's like 5 episodes left.
Okay, what I hope to see in the
that's actually like 5 hours. Yeah.
Is we talked about this before. Gus having his moment of what can I say, change, because we remember Gus in Breaking Bad. He was happy, jovial in front of other people, but then when he's alone, we see the true side of Gus. But so far in Better Call Saul, all we've seen was the serious version of Gus, which was very flat.
Oh, that's a good point.
So maybe we will also see like an event or like a moment where Gus finally learns to be both.
In a way, I guess like he is already doing that, maybe, because he's calling Lyle and say, "You're the manager now." Fuck yeah, good for you, Lyle, who had to eat shit from Gus for not cleaning properly. I guess, you know. But here's the thing, though. We have 5 episodes left, but I think out of that 5. Maybe 3 is in this timeline, but the 2 will be in like after Breaking Bad's timeline.
Oh, that's right.
I think there is a possibility.
We must return to that black and white version of the future.
I think that
where Jimmy works at Cinnabon.
Yeah, it could not happen, but there's just been too many scenes there of him there that I think that will have to take up for at least an episode or 2. Yeah. Just like Breaking Bad's final 2 episodes. That's when Walt grows his hair back and he's not Heisenberg anymore. He's Walter White. And then like the penultimate episode, he sees the TV and he turns to Heisenberg. So I don't know. I think the last two episodes or 3 episodes at least, we will have to see like Jimmy and Saul on the same screen at the same time, like after Breaking Bad. Because in Breaking Bad, he's completely Saul. We don't see any, like, we see hints of Jimmy maybe, but I think.
And I have this feeling that the writers will somehow come out with a way of putting both of them on the scene in a very intricate way, like
Breaking Bad's ending, right?
Yeah.
Is it happy ending or is it sad ending? Like so many different feelings. That's, I think, you know, what's interesting about this season is I think they took a year or like just short of a year to film the whole thing. That's a lot of filming.
Yeah.
I mean, there was COVID, but still. So I think they took their time to perfect the ending. Because Because it has the top Breaking Bad even.
That's right. And remember, they had a very great ending for Breaking Bad. So expectations are very high for this. Because so far, a lot of people are saying that this is even better than Breaking Bad. So,
But a lot of people also like Breaking Bad better than this one. Because we talked about this, I think, in a prior podcast where Breaking Bad, everything is life and death.
Yeah.
Here, it hasn't been that way, except this season. Now this season is turning into life and death. But in terms of subtlety, I think you said like the subtlety of it is this one is just way better. Like there's just so many nuances to it, like
there's
shades.
a lot more depth.
A lot of shades.
Scene.
Yeah. But I do worry about Kim now though. Like Kim, because the thing is, I'm glad they killed Lalo. Is because that's a surprise to us. He's one character we don't know what happens to, and we finally know like, oh, he died.
Oh, and just like we also discussed this, that his body would probably be under the lab.
Oh my god!
But the surprise is Howard's there as well.
No, that was one of the like. I love the Mike's face during that because you know the thing is though, it's a very poetic scene because we have to look at the prior episode. Let's go back. Like Howard tells the intern how to not make the gas turn off the beer can, right? And then Lalo does the silencer like shaking, right?
Oh, that's right. There's a parallel.
Yeah, but let me finish. In death, it doesn't matter if you're a drug dealer or innocent. You're all ending up in concrete, and this is what that business does. So, because think about it, they're lying down side by side, right? But one is a completely innocent man, and one is basically devil incarnate, and they're all dead. So, like, I love that touch, and Mike's face says everything. He knows this is wrong. This is fucked up, but still, like, this is. I think it also shows the destruction that Saul is capable of, and I almost wanted a flashback scene with Chuck. Like, cause like now I feel even more sorry for Chuck.
Yeah.
Because Chuck was right.
He knew this would happen.
And because Howard was a kind man.
That's right.
That Chuck's little brother end up like unintentionally, however, causing his death.
And this is what's so brilliant about the show. They invested just the right amount of time and effort to give that death to Howard, to make his death more meaningful.
No, but it's I would argue it's still Howard's death was even more impactful than in Breaking Bad, where those Nazi gangs killed Jesse's girlfriend in front of him, right? Because like it was kind of a surprise there, but here they just gave so much screen time to Howard for us to actually feel like we got to know this Howard, because they remember we talked about this. I think in season 1 and 2 we think of him as like an asshole, but it turns out he was like against Chuck,
and
in favor of Jimmy,
supporter of Jimmy.
Yeah, and
in this season we get to know that he really is a very decent person.
Yeah, despite being a rich asshole, he's like a rich asshole with a heart of gold. Yeah, my daddy gave me my job.
He's had some hardships of his own as well. He had those struggles to fight through.
And then the writers gave him that awesome speech. Yo, I had depression. I've been down. I'll be back. Boom! And then like this man who was about to turn his life around is gonna be remembered as a junkie, as a addicted to prostitutes, a failure in marriage. So,
and killed himself.
Yeah, like
that's harsh.
No, but like that's and they're playing with our feeling towards Kim too. Because first of all, our feeling towards Saul is already very like I think decided because.
Oh, that's right. I think I can hear the writers talking to me right now. You thought you felt sorry for Howard? Just wait.
Oh my god! Oh,
you thought Howard was a tragedy?
Oh, you think so? Oh man, that's horrible.
Watch what happens to Kim now.
Because we know Breaking Bad, and Saul is kind of responsible for facilitating Walter White's evolution to Heisenberg, right? I don't know. I guess he's just a customer to him. But so I think we feel less sorry for Saul, maybe. But here, Kim, like, she's a babe in the woods compared to Saul, too. Because remember, Saul has been actively involved in criminal activities before, like drug dealing.
Yeah, and things that he did not share with Kim.
And remember, Kim also stepped to Lalo in the jail out of love towards Saul, and I think season 4 or 5. So here, now we're worried about Kim. That's why, I don't know. I don't know, though. And because, like, I feel like Gus and Mike aren't going to go away in the remaining 5 episodes. And given that we know what happens after the Breaking Bad timeline to those two guys, I think they will play a very crucial role in Kim's and Jimmy's fate. That's why I'm worried that Gus will want Kim dead.
So one thing that I think there could be 2 possibilities in my head. One would be the dark fate with Kim. So she eventually gets killed because of Jimmy. And this has always made me wonder, then how does he function as Saul Goodman, as a proper human, as a human being in Breaking Bad, if he goes through such tragedy? But then after hearing what you reminded me of what Mike said to Jimmy in the desert, eventually you will feel nothing. Maybe that's what's going to happen to Jimmy. He eventually just gets numb to the fact that Kim died because of him.
No, you could, like, that's a good point.
Okay, so that would be version 1.
Okay.
Version 2 would be a little more happier version where, like we discussed, Kim gets to get a new identity and go somewhere like Alaska or something. And eventually, remember that Cinnabon scene where
someone recognizes him?
Saul Goodman is working somewhere else as a new person with new identity, and he eventually reunites with Kim.
No, but see, here's the thing. You mentioned a good point on point. I feel like the writers are trying to, give psychological depth to Jimmy's transformation to Saul. What I mean by that is, basically, it's another version of Mike. Mike, you could argue right now, is completely changed.
Yeah.
From the first time we met in season 1, and then there's this beautiful scene with him with, like, he's talking to this anonymous group, whatever, about their family, and he loses his mind. Part of the reason why people transform is, I think Saul is a mixture of 2 things. One is like blissful evil. Because there's a sense of freedom and joy on just letting it all go, right? Guilt, responsibility. Why do I need to think about that? So I think Jimmy's transformation will be like that, no matter what happens to Kim.
That's a really, really good point. Because you know what I reminded myself of the moment you said that?
What?
You know how his colleagues at the courthouse, they start to ignore him completely? But Jimmy, he thinks it's weird, but he just decides to not mind about it. Yeah, I think maybe that's the way this is going.
Yeah, because remember in Breaking Bad, Jimmy is so like, don't give a fuck that he's like, okay, get the fuck. How old are you? Are you like a kid? Now the cop houses like allow everybody. Like the cops hate him. The FBI hate him. Like
the moment he shows up as somebody's lawyer, they're like, this fucking
this guy, this motherfucker. So like, I think it's like I think they might interpret that as like his way to deal with pain, like complete neglect of other people's mind. Why should I care? Like, it doesn't matter.
And ultimately, what's the nail in the coffin is gonna be Kim's death.
I don't know. Like that one, you were right about that. Though you had one theory, 1, 2. Kim might die, Kim might not die, and I think both are still possible. But I actually think Kim won't die. I don't think so. Because remember, Lalo already died, so having 2 characters die is kind of like, I think it's too predictable. I feel like they're gonna do something fantastic with Kim, like you said about 20 minutes ago about the Cinnabon scene, maybe. But back to Saul's transformation, like I said, it's like a little bit of Mike. Because Mike is like a less dramatic version of it. Yeah. Because Mike himself is not a dramatic person. But the Mike we see right now is a completely different man from season 1. He's basically a machine now. Like every pain he felt, like he's just like shoving it like down deep. It's gone.
We saw how he was trying to handle the guilt after killing that German engineer guy.
Yeah, that was the critical moment where we see the Mike of Breaking Bad. He doesn't think about it because he keeps repeating. He's like see, there's a lot of parallel between Mike, Walter White, and even Saul. They all have different like personalities, but what they're going through is very similar. Is a transformation. Like we see Mike's transformation now. And Mike keeps saying, like, I'm going to do this for my granddaughter. But the irony of the whole thing was they never got to see that money in the first place, like, ever in Breaking Bad. But Heisenberg's is an interesting transformation. And I think Saul's transformation, like Jimmy's transformation to Saul, is just like that. Because Heisenberg's, you could argue that Heisenberg is also like a blissful evil thing going on where all his weakness as Walter is gone.
Yeah, I remember the moment where he goes on a shopping spree with his son and buys that Dodge Challenger, the cars and stuff.
Yeah, no, not just that, but either the moment he wears the hat or he turns to Heisenberg, his complete demeanor changes. He's like, that's not how you do meth. No, you got that wrong. And like, get the fuck out of my territory. Like, this, like, skinny.
What's my name?
Yeah, all those famous
Say my
lines.
name.
Like, Saul is basically like Saul is more dramatic than Mike, but he's less dramatic than Walt. His over embrace of Saul is a pain like handling mechanism. Like it's dealing with pain.
Yeah.
And hey, now that we talked about it, maybe you're right. I think Saul will be most hurt if Kim leaves instead of dying, because it's like an abandonment thing.
Yeah. So it's not too much of a tragedy, but it gives enough shock for Jimmy to finally solidify his transformation into Saul.
Yeah, because there's no more love holding him back. I think that makes more sense. If Kim dies, she's like a martyr in Saul's heart. Oh my God, my evil life led to this. I should not be this way. But if Kim abandons, because remember, Chuck abandoned Saul before he kills himself. Like he says, you never meant that much to me. Like those words hurt. And
now that you say it, I think Kim and Jimmy are eventually going to engage in an argument.
Possibly.
Yeah, and Jimmy's going to say something that is completely apathetic about Howard. And I think Kim's that's where it's going to be I think that's what's going to
no, that's a good point.
That's the part. I mean, that's probably the moment where Kim will eventually be realizing that she can't do this anymore.
No, now that you brought, that's a very good point. I think the next episode might be like how these two characters react to the fallout. Following your logic, I think Jimmy will be completely fine. He's done this so many times already. Like he's so used to it. Like maybe not to this degree of violence, but he's done criminal activities.
But for Kim, this is going to throw her off completely.
No, but what you know what would be beautiful, though? Maybe, like, the last scene could be, like, Saul ending up in prison after confessing, and then it's Kim, who works as a pro bono lawyer for a small law firm, visits him and say, oh, Jim, you're back to Jimmy. And they talk about this conversation, like, where... Like Kim asks Jimmy, like, how long are you in for? And she says 8 years. And Kim waits for him outside the jailhouse, and they live happily ever after.
That would also be a satisfying ending.
Because you know why that's beautiful? If Saul right now confesses to his crime with Walter White, he can basically like kill his Saul personality and become the Jimmy. Because Jimmy is, I think, in a lot of ways, much more human. Like, it's that human part of Saul, right? But if he gets rid of all that criminal lawyer stuff, like and then Kim also gets rid of her bad girl side and returns to the kind-hearted, like, help any people by necessary Kim. That could be a beautiful ending. So this is our, like, a third theory. Like, basically, we go back to after Breaking Bad timeline. Jimmy confesses, or the cops come and catch him because of the guy who recognized him.
Yeah.
And then in jail, Kim is the one who visits him and says, "How you been?" Blah 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 blah. They come out of jail and they find peace and love, and it's beautiful.
Happy ending for Jimmy.
Beautiful, beautiful. That could be it. But oh my God, see, you know what's frustrating though, like. One thing I hate about this season is, like, they just make everything unpredictable.
That's right.
I have no idea what's going to happen the next episode.
We say this with every episode.
Yeah.
They've uncovered so much ever since we started saying this, yet it's still so unpredictable.
Oh, my God. And what I like about it still makes sense, though. I do. Like, I think this year... like Breaking Bad. I mean, not Breaking Bad. Better Call Saul and Boys have been like the two best TV series in terms of being unpredictable but not being annoyed by it. It's like good television right there. Good television. Entertaining, fun, deep, insightful television. Anyway, this episode for me is definitely awesome. Like straight up awesome.
Yeah.
My favorite moment was when Kim was driving towards Gus' house. That was one of my favorite moments.
Remember that police car pulls over right next to her?
Yeah.
Next to her, and she kind of hesitates and it drives away. It gives you a lot of thought. Maybe that was like her last chance of getting out of this.
What I liked about it was we knew what was coming though, like because Gus is protected, so she knocks on Gus' door. I knew it would be Mike, but I still found like I felt like that scene was in Kim's perspective because to her time is fast and slow at the same time. She's completely scared. And, like, I don't think even she knows what to do. Do I have to run to the cops to save Jimmy, or do I have to really kill this man? Blah, 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 blah. But I was a little bit disappointed at Gus using that gun, though. I was hoping... come on. In real life, nothing is that perfect. So I felt like that was like a double trap.
Yeah. I think... it was a little too convenient for him to be like right there with the cable.
Yeah, I know.
And we've seen him like looking at those cables and planting that gun there, but I just thought it was a little too convenient because Lalo could have shot him like way before he reached that location.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a little too convenient, but I did like the shootout and how intense it was, like building up to that point. I also like the fact that Gus eventually got shot. Yeah. And one of the bullets got through. That I liked.
No, it was a smart scene because remember, like in the beginning of the episode, like Lalo tells Saul, "You gun, you point and shoot." Camera is the same. You pick it up and you point and shoot. And here Lalo has the camera and the gun, point and shoot. Miss! And then he himself gets he himself did not I don't know, like he followed his own instruction, got fucked. So that's like the funniest thing.
Yeah, you can't point and shoot two things.
There's
a lesson there. Just stick to one.
And next time, if you got a drop on your enemy, just shoot him in the head. Dr. Eladio, I shot Gus' head because look, here's the meth lab. You could have done that.
Because you know what I would have done? I would have shot him in the thighs first.
Oh,
yeah, make him limp all the way, and so at least his movement is not as agile. But anyway, so. He was a little too confident there.
Yeah, he was. I guess that's hubris. That's arrogance, and it made sense for the character because Lalo, despite he's still a Salamanca. I mean, Hector is like arrogant incarnate. Yeah, And anyway, this was like for me very, very awesome. Like one of the best episodes of this. You know what? I would still give the prior episode like episode 7. I would say episode 7 has been the best episode, though.
I agree.
It's like a different genre. Episode 7 was like kind of a suspense mystery.
It was kind of like a thriller.
Yeah.
Especially like the last 5 minutes where Howard comes and then you remember that candle flicker? Yeah. And then Lalo shows up. Yeah.
This one is
the shock element.
This one is more like road rage, like boom, 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 Mad Max Fury Road, except much more smarter in a small Albuquerque neighborhood where every drug lord somehow converge for some reason.
I wonder what the neighbors are thinking.
Out of the whole of America, out of the entire United States,
like the right next door, the neighbors are probably thinking, "What should we have for breakfast tomorrow?" Did I have strawberries in the fridge?
Every Mexican drug lords love Albuquerque. But anyway,
can't wait until the next episode drops.
Oh my god, there's only 5 left. Hey, I definitely get a feeling that they are preparing us for an announcement of possible another spin-off. Yeah, because of the success.
Yeah,
and the marketing campaign.
And I hope to God it's Los Salamancas.
I hope so. And I can tell, like, because before the season, like this episode premiered, I saw a lot of great news pieces, like great reviews of the series so far. I definitely think they're gunning for an Emmy. like the studio. Like, and then I have to be honest, this is definitely Emmy worth. Like, I would say like Better Call Saul has been underappreciated.
That's right.
Like it should have been even more popular. I think it's because of like the slow start of it. But they, like, anybody who haven't watched the show yet, I would really like to tell, be patient with the show. Like, it's like a Lego blocks, like slowly building up until you realize it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It may not have like the pound pulsing and like of the first like 2 seasons of Breaking Bad, but it's definitely rewards your patience. That's what it does.
Good. That's a good expression.
Yeah.
It really does reward your patience.
Yeah.
You got to take time, and you need to be able to be patient and savor like all those little details and the subtlety of it.
Anyway, that's our take
On
episode 8. If you like the episode, please like and subscribe. And next week we'll come back with episode 9. Thank you so much. This was Joe.
I was Won-Jin.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.